any African country and you go into a supermarket, the supermarket is Carrefour from France. And when you have acquired your goods, 3/4 of which are not made in Nigeria or in Kenya or in Uganda, when you want to transport the goods, you have somebody riding a motorcycle and is an employee of Glovo from Spain. And if you don't want anything from Glovo, you'll get Bolt taxi from Estonia. And when you want security in your home, it is Garda World, which is incorporated in Quebec, in Canada. Africa consumes what it does not produce and produces what it does not consume. The question then is, you who are young, you who are the hope of the continent of Africa, are you prepared to compete with the rest of the world? Some of the young men and women present here are perhaps some of the best minds in Nigeria. Are you prepared to compete with your contemporaries in China? Are you prepared to compete with your contemporaries in South Korea? Are you prepared to compete with your contemporaries in the Netherlands? Are you prepared to compete with your contemporaries in Canada and in the United States of America and in Japan? Just this morning, you have been given an assignment which enjoins you to think of your lifetime and to break your lifetime into several components. You have been told. Think of your 10-year plan. What do you want to have achieved in 10 years? Break it down even further, you have been told. Think of your 5-year development plan. And it has even been broken down further. Think of your 1-year development plan, and even further into your 30-day plan, and even further into your single-day plan. How I understood that is, it is how you work in a single day that defines how you live your life. You can't think of your lifetime, your 10 years, your 5 years, and of your 1 year, and of your 1 day, if you do not take care of that day. Because every day lost takes away from your overall development plan. What do you want to achieve? This is what we must ask ourselves. The story is told of a young person. Let us assume that that young person was a Nigerian. Let us even assume further that he was from Ogun State in Nigeria. Let us even assume further that he or she was from a village in Ogun State called Abeokuta. Let us even assume further that he was in an even smaller village. When he was young, at the age of 15, he took the view, or she took the view, that she could change the world and try to change the world. But as he grew a little older, at age 20, he discovered that the world was too big to be changed. Therefore, he lowered his target and said, I'm now going to change Africa. And at age 30, discovered that Africa was too big to be changed. And now said at age 35, I'm now going to change West Africa. And at age 40, discovered that even West Africa was too large to be changed. Said, I'm now going to change Nigeria at age 50. But discovered that even Nigeria was too large to be changed. At age 55, he now says, I'm only going to change Ogun State. But discovered that even that was too large to be changed. And he now said at age 70, I'm now going to change my village in Abeokuta, and discovered that even that was too big to be changed. The only thing that he did not know, that the thing that he needed to change first was himself. It is personal conquest that opens the door for real change. So the first battle that we must win as young men and women is ourselves. Who are you? Have you discovered yourself? What are you? What can you do with your knowledge? How can you deploy your knowledge to improve your circumstances? How can you deploy your knowledge to improve your immediate surroundings? How can you deploy your knowledge in a manner that is going to be beneficial to yourself and your immediate community, and by extension, you can then change the world? I hold the view that you young men and women must now begin to ask those difficult questions. Sometimes I ask myself, why is it that we have a very limited understanding of who we are and what we can achieve? Sometimes I ask myself, how is it that we Africans were colonized by so few? How was it that the Portuguese came here and persuaded us that we were primitive? How did they come here, the Spaniards, and persuaded us that we were primitive? How did the French do it? How did the British do it? How did the Germans do it? Is it because they have superior brains? The answer is no. But they did it. And I now hold the view that because of the indoctrination that we have suffered over the years, one of the things that we must do in order to realize our potential is to decolonize our minds. It cannot be true that the things that we love are things that are alien. Because I'm talking to younger people. If you ask the young boys or young men who are present here, the football that they love, it is English football. It is Spanish football. It is German football. They have no idea of what is happening in the neighborhood in Ghana, and they do not care. They have no idea of what is happening about football in Chad, and they do not care. Because we have been made to believe that that which is our own is not good. If you ask our young women here, I do not know who persuaded us, even if I'm about to offend you ladies, that our hair is not good, that we've got to import human hair from Brazil, as if your hair is not human. Who told us that we must do that? Who told us that we must, in the nature of things, use lightening creams to lighten our skins? Who told us? Why are we questioning God? who in his divine wisdom chose to create us the way he did. But we say, no, God, you are not good enough. You gave me eyelashes. I don't think they are good. I'm going to do one for myself. You gave me eyebrows. I'm going to wipe them away and use a pencil to create one. Until the day that we are able to liberate ourselves from such basic things, we are always going to try to be what we are not. And when you try to be what you are not, you can only be a poor imitation of that other thing. And I'm therefore saying that if Nigeria is to be great, if Africa is to be great, Africa must begin to think differently. And it is the young people who must begin to think differently. You know, the youth of a nation are the promise of that nation's future. If we want to invest in the future, we must invest in our young men and women. But if our young men and women have educated themselves and have been educated in a manner that is designed to make them to seek instant gratification without hard work, then the truth is that we are going nowhere. Those who are in the environment of entrepreneurship will tell you that before their enterprise succeeds, perhaps they have failed 10 times. You try and try again. You invest your nairas, you lose them number one. You lose them twice, you lose thrice, you lose 4 times. And when you see them driving the beautiful cars that you admire, it is possibly after the 10th trial. But you look at them and you think, I must drive my car immediately. Then you must be a Yahoo boy. Then you must engage in Yahoo, because that is the only way in which you are going to get this wealth, instant wealth. But that is not wealth. That is simply fleeting wealth that will disappear in the twinkling of an eye. Wealth that is truly grounded requires that you have the sweat of your brow. And the entrepreneurs here will tell you. The question, therefore, that you must ask yourself as you are sitting here today, how are you going to change your circumstances, change yourself in a manner that is going to ensure that you are a positive contributor to the affairs of your nation? Today, Nigeria is the most populous country in the continent of Africa. 1 out of every 5 Africans is a Nigerian. That is how big you are. But Nigeria, which claims to be the largest economy in Africa, has a GDP of no more than 500 billion United States dollars last year. Even if you claim it is 600, it doesn't matter. You look at a backwater country in Europe like Spain, the GDP is 2 trillion United States dollars. Nigeria should be a $5 trillion economy. That is when I'll begin to respect Nigeria as working at its level. It cannot be right that I come to Nigeria in Abuja, which in a country which is the largest producer of oil in Africa, and people are queuing for fuel. There must be something wrong. It cannot be right, even if you don't want to say it. It must be said, because Nigeria should be the leader. Where are the young men and women who ought to be innovating? Where are the refineries in Nigeria? How can it be that you produce oil and export it and then you import it again? I do not understand. I refuse to understand, even if I wanted to understand. And it is you, young men and women, who are going to change that. It is you who are going to make demands of it. As a young student, Nigeria was one of the countries that we used to admire. When I read my literature, if I did not read Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, I was reading Amos Tutuola's The Palm Wine Drinker. And if I was doing my English, I was reading from Ogundipe. That was the Nigeria that I knew. In those days, I listened and I admired the University of Ibadan and the university at Maiduguri. What happened? Something happened. And we are here not to lament about the past. We are here to look to the future. And you are that future. You are here. In your 10-year development plan, what is the kind of Nigeria and Africa that you envisage? And this is the kind of Africa that I envisage for you. And you must look at it. I want you to think of an Africa where our internet and telephone providers will no longer be Vodafone from the United Kingdom. It will no longer be Airtel Bharti from India. No, I want a Nigerian company. I'm looking at an Africa where the water that I drink in your hotels will not be Nestle from Switzerland. No, I'm looking at a different Nigeria where water will be obtained. If it is not from the rivers in Africa, in Nigeria, then it will be desalinated from the oceans here, and it will be Nigerian water. Even if you label it Abuja water, let me drink Abuja water. I'm looking at a Nigeria where the cars that we are admiring to drive will not be Range Rover or V8, but there'll be a Nigerian car. You can call it a Belkuta Range, but it is a Nigerian car. It is possible to do that. I'm looking at a Nigeria where the facilities that we use in our hospitals, including the reagents to test COVID, will not come from China. I'm looking at a Nigeria that will produce those. I'm looking at a Nigeria where the lifts that I use as I go up in the building will not be Chinese lifts, but lifts that are made here in Nigeria. I'm looking at a Nigeria which will be capable of building her own roads, a Nigeria which will be capable of sustaining herself, because if Nigeria gets it right, Africa gets it right. And it is you young men and women who are going to change that reality. The question is, are you ready? The question is, are your minds ready to wrap themselves around this new reality? Is Africa ready? And the answer is, even if you are not ready, we must make you ready. It used to be the English saying that you heat the iron while it is hot. I'm telling you, don't wait for the iron to be hot. I want you to heat the iron so that it becomes hot. That is the only way we are going to change the continent of Africa, and it can be done. You know, when I was a little younger, and I read about Africa, I knew Nigeria, the northern part of it, to be producing leather and leather products. What happened? Can we change it now? So that the shoes that we wear here in Africa is not made in Italy. Can we change that? Our university is not teaching courses that will enable us to ensure that the shoes we wear are produced here. We wear shoes that we do not produce. What about our textile industry? How can it be that we are importing our textile from the Netherlands, from Belgium? Can we not make them here? How can it be? How can it be that our handbags are made by Louis Vuitton from France? Can we not make Gucci Our ladies are carrying bags made by Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Calvin Klein. And if you engage them a little deeper, the cologne that they are wearing, the perfume, there is none made in any African country, none. None. And these are multi-million-dollar industries. It is you young men and women who are going to change that. If you look even at the biros that we are writing with this morning, they are made in China. Each one of us has a phone here. Anybody amongst you here who has a phone that is made in Nigeria, raise up your hand. I'll give you 1 million United States dollars. I don't have it, but I don't fear because none will raise their hands. Not any one of us. And yet phones are being made in high schools in China and in South Korea. This is what we must change. And we are here, therefore, to make ourselves energized. We are here to remind ourselves that we have work to do and that there is work to be done. Because if that work is not done, this is what I see. Once again, I see an Africa which in no more than 25 years will have all our affairs controlled by others. I see an Africa where the Chinese will control one part because there is already a scramble for Africa. I see an Africa where one part of will be controlled by the Russians. I see an Africa where another part will be controlled by the Americans. See an Africa where another part will be controlled by the British. Sometimes they are British, sometimes they are the United Kingdom, sometimes they are England, I do not know, but they will be there. See another Africa which will be controlled by the Dutch. See another Africa which will be controlled by the Arabs. We are here to ensure that it does not happen. That is why we are present here. So today, if like me you believe that the only way to stop a new wave of recolonization is to arm ourselves with knowledge and courage, then this convention has value. And it must begin with the mind, because this is where the battles must be fought and won. It is the mind throughout the ages that has created nations. So when you are here today, when you get out into your groups, I want you to ask certain very basic and fundamental questions. How can we change Africa? You know, when I look at Africa today, and I look at her often, and I ask myself, when we regain this thing called independence, and I'm even debating whether we are independent, we made unto ourselves several promises, including that we would govern our affairs and control our affairs. The issue is that we are not in control of our affairs. And those amongst us who are political leaders, I'm using the word leaders very loosely. The only thing that has remained for Africa is to compete for political offices as an end in itself. Africans want to be president. They want to be vice president. They want to be senators. They want to be members of parliament. They want to be councillors. In many African countries, they don't want those officers because they want to serve the people. They want those officers because it's the shortest avenue to material wealth. It is the shortest avenue to having power and clout and having all the trappings of power so that you can help your family. You can go to the best hospitals, go to the best schools, and have the best hotels and drive the best cars. You don't care about the rest of the population. What you give them are mere crumbs. In other parts of the world, if you go to the Scandinavian countries where leadership is about service, they care about education, they care about health, they care about agriculture, they care about innovation and invention. In Africa, that is not happening in almost all countries save for a few. And if that is going to change, you young men and women must make demands of those who are in positions of leadership. Are you making demands, or you are waiting to be recruited? Because many young men and women in Africa are waiting to be recruited into that class. Because once you are recruited into that class, then you can enjoy the largesse that goes with those offices. But the rest of the people remain where they are without the most basic of things. Today, we are here to remind you that you can be agents of change. I remember, even if you don't remember, courtesy of history throughout the ages, it has always been the case that when young people rise and make demands, societies change. Many of you hear about the Young Turks. Did you know why the Young Turks arose in Turkey in the year 1908? They were dissatisfied with the status quo, and they said we must change things. And we are not changing things merely in politics, we are changing things in economics, we are changing things in the society. Today, Turkey is different because the Young Turks rose and they made demands in their society. What are you going to do? Are you the latter-day Young Turks? I remember in the civil rights movement in the United States of America, the balance tipped in the right direction when young people came out and they no longer feared and they were making demands of the people. In 1968 in Europe, particularly in France, when the young people rose, that is when the society changed. In China, in the Tiananmen Square in 1980, it is the young people who rose. In Africa here, the struggle for independence was led by young people. Wherever you went, it was younger people in Africa. If you went to Guinea-Conakry, it was a younger Sékou Touré. If you went to Ghana, it was a younger Kwame Nkrumah. If you went to Mali, it was a younger Modibo Keïta. You went to Algeria, it was a younger Ahmed Ben Bella. If you came here, it was a younger Nnamdi Azikiwe. It was a younger Enahoro. It was a younger Boubacar Tafawa Balewa, a younger Bafemi Awolowo, or a younger Ahmadu Bello. If you went to Congo, a younger Patrice Lumumba Nyerere in Tanzania, Kaunda in Zambia, throughout Africa. It was younger people. What happened to our young people? And they did not have the advantage of having gone to higher schools of education. Some of them were merely young men and women who were animated, and they were making demands and saying that Africa can only change if we rise up. And I'm now telling you that that is what you must do. I'm now telling you that Africa can and must change. I'm now telling you and asking you that Africa must change. It must change our education system. We can no longer afford to have an education system that merely tries to make us better white men. We can no longer have a system of education that is only trying to make us parodies of the white man. It can be done, it must be done, because if it is done, then Nigeria will be great, and if Nigeria is great, Africa will be great, and we will be able to say, yes, we are capable of changing our lives. Thank you very much, and God bless.
I do not think you should be sitting down to give him unless you are a wicked person. Stand up and give him a round of applause and give him 3 gosa. Are you ready for Prof? Gosa, gosa, gosa. Please be seated. Prof, we thank you very much for that beautiful presentation. If we start clapping, we will not end the clapping here today. But one thing is guaranteed, Prof. We are proud to have you here today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will notice that we have tried as much as possible to avoid the usual Nigerian program protocols. We want to avoid it. This is a future that we are building. We want youth that will cut the craps and go straight to the point and address the real issues. And the Prof made something very profound. He said the youths of a nation are the promise of the future. He said, how are you going to change your circumstance or situation today to become relevant in the future? Another round of applause for him, please. Now, we are going to do something very, very unusual because this youth convention is about enhancing youth productivity towards self-actualization and national development. Self-actualization is the peak of hierarchy of needs. And national development is the output of whatever a human being is going to contribute must impact the nation for national development. Now we are going to throw the audience, the program open now, and we will take 3 contributions. 1 minute from each of the rows. The best person that can speak to what Prof have spoken is taking away a gift. I will not tell you what the gift is, but the gift definitely is above 150,000 naira. So now when you rise up, you come to the podium, introduce yourself, and give us the meat of what Prof just presented to us. So who is bold from my right to come? Please, the ladies must show up in this party. Are you with me? The ladies must show up. As if you want to get the best from this program, ask questions, put a demand on Sherifa. Are you with me? Put a demand on Prof. Put a demand on NYC. Put a demand on all of us. And by the way, Prof is a professor of law. He's my learned colleague, my learned friend. A round of applause for him. He's an activist, I'm an activist. And so we have a lot in common. Asante. All right then. So who is coming from this side? The boldest person, wave your hand. Okay, you are the boldest, come. Introduce yourself. The Yoruba say, Shoki lo beoge. In other words, keep it simple and what? Short, or keep it short and what? Simple. So, introduce yourself, straight to the point. Let's go.
Members of the High Table, welcome to this youth convention. My name is Abdurrahim Tahib. Prof has spoken a lot, and part of the things he actually talked of, first of all, was looking into the past and realizing the things we need to do. He talked about decolonizing our minds, which means shaking off the shackles of colonialism that still remain and the level of dependency we have on the Western world, which has really been a great setback to us. He made mentions of the likes of the young Turks who actually sat down, looked at the situation they were into, they thought of the things they really need to do and how they really need to change their own settings, which is a really good example to us looking at the country today. We barely import a lot of things. Most of the things we do are imported, most of the products. He cited an example of the fuel scarcity, which is actually a shameful thing, that the largest oil exporter in Africa is actually importing refined fuels. We export crude oil, sell them at a cheap rate, and we're even shamefully buying in refined fuels which we need to clean with billions of naira, which can actually be used for projects that would grow up our level of economic development. He also talked about the educational system. If you look at the educational systems today, it's more or less like we are still using the inherited educational systems from the colonial masters. Why a lot of graduates like myself or young graduates of economics just go to school, learn the theoretical, and there's nothing like a practical aspect of what we are learning. How many engineers do we have in the country today that can be proud of themselves to say they've actually studied within this country and they're doing something contributing to the global world? Today, a lot of people like myself are planning into going into technologies, programming languages, and the likes of them, which are things the Europeans are doing. They are growing the world technologically, they are thinking of innovative ways, creating things that are helping the world economy as a whole. So he has actually, the major point he mentioned, the major point and the advice he's giving us it is actually a challenge that we have to grow up ourselves. We have to look inward and think of the things we can actually do to grow our nation. We don't have to depend on the government. Young entrepreneurs, we can look up to networking within ourselves and think of the best solutions we can offer to our problems internally and domestically. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for him. Please, do we have microphones? Organizers, please, we need microphones, please. From this middle row. Okay, two of you, choose between the two of you. The lady in blue, yes, who will come? Oh yeah, come forward. A round of applause for her. I like a place where ladies show up. My daughter was trained to be a champion. I trained her to be a warrior. That's why she's called Odenini. My daughter can never be intimidated by anybody. She's not here today. If she were to be here, she will cut away the prizes. Introduce yourself. 1 minute.
I am Angela Okaima. Prof has told us that change begins from us, and that youth in the Turkeys, in China, and other countries were the one that made a demand that things must change for the better. Instead of us to keep saying we want to be like Oyibo, we can be Africans that make the difference. Now we start changing our mentality, being productive in everything, producing quality things. Don't say, let me make a bashu for 500 naira so that I can just make money. No, think of the need of the people and how to solve problem. And as you are solving the problem, you get enriched. Stop applying for political appointments. Think of what to do for your country and for yourself, for the country to be better. No more flying abroad and dying in the sea or allowing yourself to be embarrassed because of Yahoo. Prof has made us to know that we don't need to run scatter, that we can be the change of our country. And starting with myself, then the people around me, and making the difference. So let's be productive, let's think of what we can do for our country, and let's produce things that we can consume. Africans should produce things that they can consume. So Prof has just made a summary that change begins from the youth, and we should stand up and take it as a challenge. That's what I've got to say.
Round of applause for her. Please, kindly sit there. Madam, sit over there. No, in front. Okay, the man likes you. Sit by him. Where is the first speaker? Come forward. Then we go to the third lane. You are ginger. Do we give to a man or woman? Okay, come, madam. Okay. Come forward. All our people that will interrogate Prof's paper stand to win something. But the best is the first. Please introduce yourself. Cut the meat for us. All right. Your name?
My name is Fatima Yusuf. What Prod said? I don't know. It affects us psychologically, emotionally, thinking, self-actualization, a lot I can't mention. We don't just sit down there thinking, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. We need to start now. We need to start now. Also talk about you produce, okay? He said Nigeria, he mentioned Nigeria out of the whole Africa. Definitely, if we are able to change ourselves, starting for you and I, That means the Africa will go a long way. Sometimes I sit there, I cry inside me. What is going on, especially in this Nigeria? Usually, aside from the government, what is going on there? We are talking over ourselves. Yahoo boys, this, that. May Almighty Allah help us. So, thank you very much.
Well, in a normal classroom setting, the person that sets the exam will mark it, isn't it? So, may I invite Prof to mark this exam and give us the first. The first person is taking a brand new laptop to be presented by Sharifa Abiola Andu. The second person will take away 10,000 naira, and the third person will take away another gift, which we will give to you later in the session. Prof, you have the floor to mark the exam. And decide. The three of them are looking at you.
You know, because I'm in Nigeria, I give this exam. The late Chinua Achebe was asked, which of your books do you love best? And he said, that is a very difficult question to answer. It's like asking a parent, which of your children do you love most? He said, I love each one of them differently. And there is a sense in which the young men who have spoken in response to my presentation have touched me in different ways. And therefore, when I say I'm ranking them, it is unfortunate that I must do it. The first speaker captured the essence of what it is that I spoke about in a very unique way. The second speaker was full of energy and a sense of energy and urgency. The third speaker was tongue-tied almost, because the emotion of the issues and the gravity of the issue is such that it ties her tongue. But because I must rank, the lady who spoke second, in my view, her sense of urgency is what makes her stand out in this regard. The second person that I must rank as such is the gentleman. His depth of analysis makes me understand that he appreciates the enormity of the issue. And I think you need emotion and deep understanding. I rank him second. The third lady is so emotionally consumed, so emotionally consumed. That emotion is necessary, but you need to tell it to the world so that the world is able to see the emotional content in you. That pain, I feel it. That is my ranking.
Thank you very much, Prof. You may go back to your seat. You will get your gift, the second and third persons. Everyone here is a winner. Hajia Sharifa, we want to thank you very much. Hajia Sharifa Abiola Andu flew in from Lagos. She arrived here earlier than those living in Abuja. She arrived here earlier than those living in Jabi Kado. She arrived here before most people that were lazy at home. Because of that, she was eminently selected to present the gift to our participants. It is not done yet, Hajia. You will still come back and give this gift to the 5 people that came earlier like you. A round of applause for Hajia again. And Prof, we thank you very much for your rating. We appreciate you so much. Yes, Hajia. We call the first person out, Musa Adamu Buba. Where is Musa Adamu Buba? He came first today. Photographs as they present them. You may do choco noco with Hajia. By the way, the presentation of Prof was captured on video, so everybody have the opportunity of getting a copy each, including Prof himself. A round of applause for him. The next person is Anifo Zubikat Abiola. The third person is Ismail Agwai Mohammed. Where is he? Please come forward quickly. The fourth person is Jubril Apani. Where is Jubril Apani? Oh, my good friend. A round of applause for him. Yes. Then the final person is Camila Ahmed. Camila, as you come with the other gift. Yes, Camila Ahmed. Come with the gifts. Come forward with everything that you want to present. Come and receive your gift and come with your gift. We want to round up with the ceremonial. Where's Camila? Come forward, Camila. She will receive, and then she will give. She will receive from you, and then you and her will also present a gift. Yes. So thank God that you have to, by example, she has led today. Camila, hurry up, time. It's a wonderful day today. The B2B is going to be the most interesting after the plenary. So receive your gift. Then let me invite Professor Lumumba, Patrick Lumumba, to come forward here and receive a gift from Camila Ahmed. So, yes. Now you can now present the gift to him. Hajia Sharifat, thank you so much. A round of applause for Hajia. Camila is presenting a gift to Professor. According to her, she believes that it is more blessed to give than to receive. She never knew she would be getting a gift. A round of applause. Come and explain to Prof why you are giving him the gift. Come forward. Come over here and explain to him why you are giving him the gift. Come on, she's very emotional. She's one of the youngest entrepreneurs in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Her products have gone to different countries of the world. Even in secondary school, she is in school by herself. She's a wonderful entrepreneur. So for a few seconds, she will explain to Prof why she's giving him the gift.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Camila Ahmed, and I want to say, I'm here to say the reason why I'm giving this gift to the professor. Why we should give out things to people, because in order we also get things more in return.
Prof, what you are holding in your hand are products from her own factory. She has been producing Zobo that is going to different parts of the world. She is a challenge not only to the youth, but to the younger generation in Africa. Please, can we all give her a standing ovation? She is in secondary school, but she is paying school fees for other children in school. Thank you very much. Thank you, Camila. Please, let's be seated. The young gentleman that won second prize, where you see, your gift is here. Everything shall be done transparently, not like wuru-wuru people in power. Everything we do here is based on example. We are setting precedents. Everything is recorded. Thank you very much. Well done. Now, we are moving to the heart of today's program. We will be inviting our distinguished panelists to come forward. And please, the gentleman in front, this is serious now. Camera photo man, move now. You will change your position this time around. We want to invite you to the podium, and you take your seats. Mohammed, what is the sitting order? Somebody should help me arrange the sitting order here. I know Prof will sit first. Yes, then we go into the theme for today's program. Okay, Prof will sit in the middle. He will take the hot seat. Okay, me. All right, so leave the middle seat for me. Although I would have loved to sit at the edge there. Yes, that side would have been better for me. Yes, I will sit there. Let me welcome Hajia Sharifa Abiola Andu. A round of applause for her. We have reached the heart of the moment. Anything you want to draw, you draw blood now. Whatever you want to take, you take from them right now. We also want to invite our own dear mentor. He is an entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur, and by the way, an associate professor also. He's the CEO of Doba Group Mentor 10 Software Engineering, Associate Professor Doba Ibrahim. A round of applause for him, please. So we have additional professors to the list. Then we have Benedita Ndikato, our own social rights and human rights activist, my very good, somebody I admire from a distance. Wonderful lady. You are welcome. A round of applause for her. I think we are good to go. We are ready now. Where are the microphones? Are the microphones working? We will need microphones for participants that may want to interrogate. So, one microphone for me, then one more microphone for other panelists. We need as many microphones as possible. Give Prof the best microphone. Prof, say hello. It's not working. Hello, Prof.
Hello.
So, check. Yeah, Prof, your microphone doesn't seem to work. So, it's not working. Give it to Prof. Bring mine. Let me see the one I will use.
Hello. Hello.
It's not working. Give me another one.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, everybody? All right. So we have reached the meat of today's program. Hello. Am I permitted to remove my face mask? Ladies and gentlemen, this session is very, very important. Please, I will appeal to all of us to either switch up our phones or put them in flight mode or put them in silent mode so that we don't get distracted. We cannot leave our homes, our families, and come here and come to the most serious part of a program and we are distracted. Please let us put our phones on silent. Put them, the ladies can put them in their bags. The gentlemen can put them in their pockets so that we can maximize the moment. Just a short time. I kept my phone somewhere so that I will not be distracted. Now, distinguished panelists, you are welcome. Did you come in from Kaduna or you came in from here today? From Abuja. I know you've been giving El Rufai a lot of tug of war there in Kaduna. She's also an activist, Prof, like you. So you are welcome, Ndi. We want to draw as much as possible from you. Prof, Doba, we also want to draw as much as possible from you. You will give to these young people from your heart. No political statement that will make you sound politically correct, because we are dealing with the future of these young people. So whatever we are going to say must be something that addresses what we call mindset reset. The consciousness of our people have been battered over time. The reading habits have been destroyed. I carried out a national survey on reading culture in Nigeria, and we were very disappointed with what we found nationwide. It's documented in video. Now, Hajia Sharifat, let me begin by apologizing for calling you Sharifat. I'm a very informal person. If you interact with me, I don't like all these names, appellations. They annoy me, because to me, it is something that we hide under where our inadequacies are hidden. When I call you your name, you should be happy, but I will respect you as a woman and still maintain Hajia Sharifat. A round of applause for her. Yes, and then I deliberately began from Ndikato, Benedita, and we are ending with Prof. So Prof, for a few minutes, will set the tone again, even though he has spoken over the theme for today. Thank you. Prof will do something, recap again, not necessarily recap. He will refresh our minds again on the theme, enhancing youth productivity towards self-actualization and national development. Now, this plenary will look at it. We will look at it from the practical point. We will look at it economically, socially, even judicially. From the justice perspective, we look at it. We look at it from family. We look at it from technology. We look at it from diverse perspectives to give room for everyone present here to have a feel of what we're doing. By the way, we have participants that are online right now. They are with us. Hundreds of people have joined this program online throughout the world. I wave to you all as you watch us. I welcome you all, and then we'll be giving you your own turn to participate during this program. Now, let's begin with Prof. Prof, what struck your mind when the Productive Youth Network contacted you and said, we will want you to leave Kenya, to leave Nairobi, a beautiful place where I enjoy. I love to go to Kenya a lot. I love your crocodile village. I like to go to your crocodile village. Kenya is...
eat the crocodile.
I know, I eat buffalo sometimes. So we want you to look at it and then speak to it from a scholarly perspective. We look at it from a global perspective. We look at it from an African perspective. We share experience from the Kenyan perspective, because Kenya also is doing very well in Africa. Kenya is doing well in the world. Then we can now coast back home and interact with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The invitation indeed did provoke a number of thoughts in my mind. First, it made me recognize that there are people within the continent who are beginning to realize that the long-term health of the continent and indeed their countries demands that specific focus be placed on young people. And you will remember, as I said a little earlier, that Africa is the youngest continent on Earth, which means, therefore, that deliberate effort must be taken to ensure that young people's energies are canalized in a manner that is going to make them produce positively for the benefit of the society. And this, I believe, therefore, makes it urgent and necessary that we as a people begin to demand of the young people that their minds must be pointed in the right direction. And an occasion such as this is therefore useful for a number of reasons. One, it makes young people to ask themselves what their value is. Two, it makes young people to ask themselves what positive contribution they can make to the society. Three, it makes young people to realize that their preparedness for the future is not only critical to themselves, but critical to their countries and by extension, the continent of Africa. And number four, it makes young people to realize that if they equip themselves intellectually, emotionally, and otherwise, then they will be able to contribute in a positive manner. And it also provides young people with an opportunity to share experiences, because one is not an island. If you are in an environment such as this, it also allows you to share your experiences with your peers and also learn from older people. And the value that interaction with older people add to your life is that they expose you to their own experience in a manner that will then help you to avoid the pitfalls that they themselves may have gone through as they walked their journey. An old man once told me there is no school where they teach experience. Experience is something that you actually go through. So that we are able here to tell you, when we were a little younger, we made the following mistakes. Don't make them. These were the landmines that we stepped on. Don't step on them. So that your journey hopefully will be a little smoother because you are borrowing from our experience. And lastly, so that others may also enrich the conversation, we are living in a very competitive world. A world which is demanding of young people that they must be in a position to have a self-awareness. And one of the most important things in life is self-esteem. If you suffer from low self-esteem, you will forever believe that you are incapable of achieving things that you ought to achieve. So we are here also to tell you that self-esteem is very important. We are here to tell you that once you have conquered yourself, then you'll be in a position to participate in activities, whether they are economic, whether they are social or political, from a standpoint of knowledge. Because knowledge is everything. Once you have knowledge and relevant knowledge, then it makes you to be discerning. And when you are discerning, the choices that you make are 9 out of 10 going to be relevant choices which will help you as an individual and also help the society in which you live. And it is also important, particularly when we are engaging African youth. We are in an environment where young Africans have been made to believe that fortune lies elsewhere, that the grass is greener on the other side. This interaction is designed to tell you that grass can be green anywhere. It is your duty to water that grass. You don't have to go to Europe in order to look for greener grass. Make your own grass green. And this is what we are urging you to do by telling you that grass can be made green in this part of the world, so that when you interact with other civilization, you interact from a standpoint of equality and from a standpoint of self-confidence. So that when you say you are Nigerian, you are proud Nigerian. When you say you are an African, you are proud African who is going to make her people proud.
Thank you. A round of applause for Prof. For Hajia, flowing from the thoughts of Prof, on your way to Abuja, as you were thinking about this whole program, and the youths you saw on your way, Lagos, Abuja Airport, Abuja City, where you are staying, and the things you've been hearing about the future of this country based on where we are today. What are your thoughts that you think you can share with this youth to make them more productive?
Thank you. Good afternoon, right? Yes, still morning. Good morning, everybody. Prof has said a lot. Coming in yesterday, I thought I had a lot of energy, and I'm going to start from there. Way back then, I could go to like 10 offices in a day, and I would still be energetic. Yesterday, I visited just about 3, and I was dead tired. So this is a time for you as you. When I was this age, I could do a lot. So this is your time. Don't waste it. This is an auspicious time for you. You have your energy. And like the moderator said, when you see a lot of people out there, young people, you can't but feel so sad that there's so much energy and so much going for them, yet they're not doing as much as you want them to do or as you wish they could do. So seeing all of you here today, I know you are deliberate. You want to make a difference to your lives. You actually went on to register so that you could be here. And that says a lot. And I'm going to just tell you that there is actually nothing that you cannot do. I liken our capacity with an elastic. If you have an elastic this wide and you just put it like that, it will stay like this. But if you stretch it a little bit longer, it can stretch. And still longer, it can still stretch. So you can actually stretch to whatever you want to stretch to. There's nothing limiting you except you. So don't let the noise out there, the negative voices, tell you can't do what you can do. You have it in you. Allah, God Almighty, has programmed it in you that you should be great. And nothing should stop you from being great. The environment can be so not friendly, but in that unfriendly environment, like Prof said, some people are coming in, youth of your age, and they are seeing what you don't see, and they're making it. I sat there, and 2 young men sat beside me, or behind me, and I was just eavesdropping their conversation. And I'm like, Nigerians are very, very intelligent. The kind of conversation I'm hearing and the kind of information that I'm getting from them, I'm like, I don't even have all this. So you have a lot in you that we don't even have. You have technology, you have advantage of the time that we are in. So take it. But in all of that, you still have to be cautious. Experience, like he said, is very, very key. You have to learn. I like the Igbo experience of apprenticeship. The children go to school, they have the best degrees, and they still work with them. They still tutor them, they mentor them. So you can't say, I know everything, and I want to just fly in a day. You still have to look for people that are going to mentor you. Genuine people that have your interest at heart. And I believe with that, you can go a long way, and Nigeria will be good.
Thank you. A round of applause for Hajia. Now let's come to Professor Doba. Is it Doba? Duba. I know it's double O. Duba Ibrahim. As a CEO of Duba Grow and Mentor 10 Software Engineering, you are very young. And what was it that motivated you to take that step of going into entrepreneurship apart from being a professor that is a scholar and academician? What was your motivation at this tender age to venture into the world of business and not into politics?
Thank you so much, sir. I'm actually in politics.
Okay, so you will tell us where you are in politics, then tell us the business angle.
Yes. Thank you for that beautiful question. And I think I can start to answer your question by continuing from where Prof left off. He said, who are you? So that was what motivated me. When I was getting to my late 30s, I'm in my early 40s now, I'm 42 years old, I wanted to leave a legacy. By then, I already had about 6 degrees. And I said, so what? You must leave an artifact, something you create, not something others created and you took it. So I wanted to answer that question, who are you? And I decided that I was going to start mentoring youth. We've done mentoring and writing because I've been a columnist with the Daily Trust newspaper for 20 years now. The name of the column is Prof. Brainy. We've done mentoring and software engineering where before the students graduate in 3 months, they have a job. Then I said, we are going to start tree planting. So we started from Niger, like Prof said, you should start from where you are, right? So we started from Niger. And in every local government, we say youth organization should form a cooperative and register with us. After the registration, we give you 1,000 trees, seedlings. And we promise them we'll train you, and in 2 years, you become millionaires. But it did not work because we gave them, for writing, you can start writing after mastering the techniques. Someone can pay you to write for them, even on the internet. Immediately, you go to freelancer.com, you get a job. Software engineering is the same thing. We have a lot of remote jobs, even now. However, when it comes to planting, a farmer has to wait. Our youth don't want to wait. They will be excited when you say 2 years, 2 years, I should wait for this thing to grow for 2 years. So they abandoned the trees. In one local government in Niger State, Shiroro, we gave them 1,000 seedlings. Within a few months, they allowed the farm to get burned, so we lost 800 trees. And these are fruit trees. So I said, no, we'll start selling this. And when we start selling, the youth will see, then they can learn from it. So we started selling. Sometimes I will come to Abuja, I will sell to 3 families because they have money to buy, and within 1 weekend, we get 750,000 naira. Yes. So what I'm going to tell the youth, flowing from my experience, is that in an unremarkable world, you need to be remarkable. You see, Prof is very remarkable. You mention his name in Africa, everybody recognizes him, right? And 4 things I think can help with that. 1 is to be knowledgeable. If you bring 2 Almajiri students here, roaming the streets.
Please, for the purpose of those in diaspora and those that may not understand Almajiri, can you just break it down, please?
Yes, Almajiri are itinerant students. Their parents give birth to them, then they throw them on the streets in the name of seeking Islamic education. Yeah, but the way it's operated in the past, it worked. Where you have the malam, that's the scholar, the teacher. You take your children from another village, you go to another village, you say, here are my children, please teach them. So the scholar will teach them, and afterwards they will go out and beg for food and return and take more lessons. But now, people give birth to a lot of children and they don't want to take responsibility of caring for them. And those who know Islam, that is one of the gravest sins in Islam. So if you bring 2 of them here, and Prof says, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to educate this one. This one will be the control group. Let him do whatever he wants. In 5 years, 10 years, the one with Prof being educated, being given knowledge, will be completely different from this one. So knowledge has a way of changing people completely. In fact, if we are going to look at 3 things that people always yearn for, we yearn for power, like Prof said, we yearn for money. People don't wait to get money, they want to get it very quickly. So these 3 things, knowledge, power, and what? And money. Which one endures? If we look at it, many books have been written about the one that endures, and that is knowledge. If you read this guy's book, A Ranking of the 100 Most Influential People in the World, Michael Hart, the top 10 on that list are all knowledgeable people. No king, no person of power, and no billionaire there. Let's take the list. The first on the list is Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second is Isaac Newton. The third, Jesus Christ, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The fourth is Buddha. The fifth is Confucius, the Chinese philosopher upon whose philosophy most Asian philosophies are based, even some Western ones. The sixth is Paul of Tarsus. The seventh is Kailun, the inventor of paper-making process. And the eighth one is Gutenberg, Johannes Gutenberg, a German that invented the printing press. Before you want to write a book, you have to copy it by hand. But when he came, he revolutionized the world, including Christianity, because it was because of his invention that Martin Luther King was able to spread his Protestant understanding. Then the ninth person there is Christopher Columbus. And the final 10th is Einstein. All these people are people of knowledge, religious knowledge, scientific knowledge, and philosophy. But another thing unites them, and that is they applied the knowledge. Isaac Newton gave us the laws of what? Motion, upon which many of the scientific inventions are based. Prophet Muhammad is followed by 2 billion people around the world. Jesus, more than that. So they apply the knowledge. So if you get knowledge and you apply the knowledge, especially if you create artifacts that will make the knowledge last, then you'll be remarkable. The second thing is to be credible. Prof has been all over the world preaching anti-corruption. If you say anti-corruption, who comes to your mind? You mention his name. People listen because he's credible. In fact, whatever you believe about Buhari came into power because he was credible. He was credible. Things might have changed now, but because people were ready to die and overlook his shortcomings, flaws, some were glaring, but they overlooked it because how can he be Minister of Petroleum? How can he be former head of state? How can he be this? How can he be that? And he's still like this in Nigeria. Recently, yesterday, a writer came to my house and he said a politician from my state told him that if every book of all the politicians with position in the states should be examined, the only person that will escape punishment will be Dr. Duba. Why? Because whenever they start their wala, I step aside. I said, I'm trying to avoid haram. You know what haram is? Illegal thing, means of livelihood. So why should I go and jostle with them and fight with them? So I step aside. That was a time that my first appointment I resigned from. The second one, we were invited that we will be given 2 million naira as grant allowance to furnish the office. And my colleagues called for a meeting. And they said, we are going to remove 50,000 naira from everybody's money and we'll give to the finance department. I said, why? They said, because of the work they did in, I said, am I going to pay them for the work they did or they are already being paid by the government? They said, no, If you don't give them now, the next time they won't process your file. I say, they won't process my file. The file that the governor has already approved, I will tell the governor to go and collect his money and give me. They said, no, doctor, it's not like that. This is how it is done. I said, this is how it is done, so why are we here? We came with change. We drove PDP away. We are APC. Why didn't we just allow them to continue if we are going to do how it was done? And one of my friends said, don't worry, I will pay for doctor. I said, no, you not pay for me, you pay double. But not for me. But you know what? After the meeting, a few weeks later, they withdrew the money. If you said you are going to be fighting all the time, you'll be fighting all the time. You won't have energy to do any other thing. So I just ignored it. But now, those who take, when something goes wrong, the governor calls me to come and investigate. So they know.
A round of applause for him, please.
Even the bad guys know, they know and respect you. They may not like you. Develop yourself to such a level where even if someone doesn't like you, he will respect you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
My time is up.
I think for now we may just go around again to kind of review some things. Maybe as we go, something might come to your mind that you want to share. Now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker is fire. All of you know Benedita Ndikato. El Rufai will not forget her in a hurry. The fear of Benedita is the beginning of wisdom. Benedita, you've carved a good name for yourself in Nigeria as a fearless social and human rights activist.
Sorry, I prefer to be called Ndi.
Okay, don't worry. All right, so let's go with, okay, because the name I have, they normally call you Benedita, but let's go with Ndi Kato. Now, from the way you've been able to build yourself, your profile is one of credibility. Your profile is one of fearlessness. Your profile is one that stands for truth and justice and equity and fairness. Now, looking at your young age and your other contemporary youths in Nigeria, given the environment you operate from Kaduna, Abuja, what can you say about your understanding of youth productivity and self-actualization in Nigeria with all that you have seen at this tender age?
I've observed Nigerian youths a lot, and then I've observed youths from other places. We're very hard on ourselves here. We are. The truth is, as a young person born in Nigeria, when he was talking, I sat down and I said, this thing has occurred to me that right now, some parents where I come from, Kaduna State, are probably having a child with no intention to raise that child. I don't know if you think about the gravity of that. As somebody's in the hospital or at home right now, giving birth to someone that they are going to kick out before the person can even take care of themselves properly. And that is what the average, because if you are looking at the numbers, that is what the average Nigerian child has to go through. I keep likening growing up as a Nigerian youth to being born and then thrown into the water. The water is flowing like this, and you have to swim like this. That's what it is to survive in Nigeria. You come here, the hospital that is receiving you as a baby is not equipped enough. And then every time you need to meet the Nigerian state to do something for you, it's almost impossible. In fact, I live my life in a way that I just try to avoid Nigeria. I don't want to meet NEPA officials. I don't want to meet the hospital. I don't want to meet anything. I just want to live my life in peace, providing my own electricity, providing my own security, providing my own water, just being my own government. Nigeria, just leave me alone, please.
But that is not what we see now.
But
you are very vocal, you are very...
That is the reality.
Okay.
That is the reality. That while you fight for this country, you too just want the country to mind its business first. Because every time you meet it, it's flogging you. And that's what the average Nigerian youth has to go through. It's the truth. And in the middle of that, if you see what we are still creating,
We are one of the most productive group of young people on this continent, and even beyond. And even beyond. You hear complaints, oh, people have come to dominate us in our country. People, Nigerians have done it again. Nigerians, we are creating against the tide. Against the tide. That is, whatever you are doing as a Nigerian, you think about it. If you are in school today, how many of us are still in university here? And you are in federal schools? Is a strike not about to happen again? Did we not witness strikes in our days in university?
Yes.
I got into university at 14. I thought I was going to break several, this is going to be a star of a girl. By 17, 18, she'll be out of here. ASU kept me. And as ASU was keeping me, other things were keeping me. The brilliance I entered university with, what did I end up doing? By the time you enter, they're struggling to register your courses. That one will take part of your intelligence. Your intelligence in Nigeria will first be on street matters. How do I register my course? How do I survive this lecturer putting classes at social time but not showing up? This particular lecturer has said A is for God. The rest is for us to struggle for. This lecturer has said that we are not going to pass his course. You find yourself struggling in that. And so the point I'm trying to make is we are already productive. Each and every one of us, by virtue of surviving the Nigerian state, is a superstar. And I think we need to clap for ourselves for that. So now let's build on that resilience. We already have so much going against us and we're surviving. I would say a lot for young people coming again. I know there are people from all over Nigeria here, but from northern Nigeria. I listened to that young man speak today, and the first speaker, and I just really want to give him a round of applause. He was such an excellent speaker, and it spoke to me as a person coming from the northern part of the country. There's a manner to our appearance. There's a disregard for the brilliance that you may have in you, and that you feel every time you step into the room, maybe not much is expected, but much is there. There is so much there, and there's so much of a battle that needs to be fought. And I want to just keep pressing on that look, that resilience is there. And we need to just keep pressing on with it. What I did with my career was, I started one day at a time. And sometimes when people are, when they say, oh, she's done this, she's done that, I keep looking like, because sometimes when it's time to write it, it's a bit too much for me to even remember. But what happened was just placing one foot in front of the other and showing up every day. So like the young man that spoke here today, or the young ladies that spoke here today, tomorrow when it's time, you speak again. And then something happens and you do it again. And the next day you do it again. And when you are tired, you do it again. The day you don't feel like doing it, those are the most trying days. Like, I really don't feel like waking up today. But then you do it again. And then the day after that, and you just keep doing. And then the next thing you know, 5 years has passed and you are known as the person that keeps doing these things. That is how leadership happens. And so I want us to do that. Just place one foot in front of the other every day. And another thing I keep telling us is youth is not a constant. The years are not constant. And if you decide to do a thing repeatedly for 5 years, 5 years will still pass. If you decide to not do a thing repeatedly for 5 years, 5 years will still pass. So what will we decide to do, or what should we decide to do is, look, every single day we should show up. Knowing that 5 years will pass, 10 years will pass, and we have the decision to be at the end of this period of time people who did something, or at the end of this period of time people who did not do anything. And to be honest, the decision towards leadership for me, as opposed to not doing anything, is the easiest decision. The decision to show up every day. I feel like we think it's such a difficult thing, but I don't think... Or Wole Soyinka, A Play of Giants, it represented... You read it, you see the people, everything was documented there. And so I read and I understood from a very young age the reality. So I will tell us that, look, yes, we need to arm ourselves, but the most important thing I will leave here today is every day wake up with a conscious decision to show up and to do something. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Look, your clapping is it's not happy. You are not even clapping well, madam. Lift your hand up and clap for them. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I believe that we are gaining something today, isn't it? Even if you have not said anything, there are many things you've been thinking about. And beginning from Prof, if you want to lament, go to the book of Lamentation in the Bible and read it. But if you want to contribute, let it be something that when you take action, you get positive results. When they've mentioned the name of Isaac Newton, before I became a lawyer, I was a pure science student. And I know that Isaac Newton said that a body in a state of rest or motion continues along a straight line unless acted upon by external forces to make it change its direction. So, it's not only that, just like Prof, somebody came out shouting, Eureka, Eureka. They pursued him, tried to catch him. That was Archimedes. What is your problem? He said, when an object is immersed in liquid or fluid, it experiences an upthrust, which is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. Today we have ships everywhere. I can go on and on, chemistry, law, and the rest of them. But the purpose of being here today is for productivity. I grew up as a young lad in Zaria. I read Hausa, I write Hausa. I have credit in Hausa in my school certificate. That was the art subject I did, apart from the pure maths, English, technical, and the rest. I still excel in Hausa. I read Igbo, I write Igbo, I speak Igbo. I read Yoruba, I write Yoruba, I speak Yoruba. I pick the Ibera language, Igala, and I just make sure I want to learn something. And I noticed that in Nigeria, over time, our self-esteem have been battered. We have lost the identity of who we are. Our consciousness have been colored by people who don't merit it. And in this hall today, we can pick our consciousness back. We can pick our dignities back. We can pick our self-esteems back. We can actualize ourselves again. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter. I've gone through how many states in the last 12 days. Mohammed have been chasing me up and down. I've presented papers. I've marked law papers. I've done so many things. I will be 62 this year. Are you with me? And I am not done. I just finished a movie. I'm starting a new movie. I'm writing some law books. I'm doing so many projects. I play table tennis at the highest level. I swim 2 kilometers. I do karate. So nobody can stop you. So let's throw this thing open to the public. I run over 13 enterprises in this country. So we can make a difference no matter what. And the second lady that spoke said you don't have to join politics. You must join politics. I started politics from a very young age, from secondary school. And I'm not looking back. You don't have to join politics to go and tell lies or steal. Like he said, the easiest way to make money is through state administrative resources. When you enter power, you are rich. If you become a governor, you are rich. If you become a senator, the enterprises under you, the organizations under you, your oversight function means you are rich. Are you with me? In the House of Reps, you are rich. In the House of Assembly, you are rich. As local government chairman, you are rich. Any opportunity, you're as DG of an organization, you are rich. Once they put you in position, you are automatically what? Rich. But we want to raise youth that have track record. That when we look back, she's saying she's 32. I am at the age I am. At the age of 19, I was already working in NMPC. I was a cadet inspector, then I moved on to read law, and then I have not looked back. I rose to become managing director, editor-in-chief of the foremost newspaper, political newspaper in Nigeria, the Post Express. I've been editor, I've worked in government and the rest of them. But today, I am still firing. I'm not looking back. I'm starting new things, and nobody can stop me. Only God can call me back home, and I say, I've done my best. So gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open to you. Just wave your hands. The highest wave will be the first speaker. No, we will go row by row so that there will be orderliness. We don't want to do National Assembly level here. We will start from this row. The highest wave is the first speaker. Just need to see your hand. You want to contribute? Let's see you, please. Thank you very much. The youth are behind. Are you afraid to speak? Please give her. Is it? I can't hear you. You are online already. So we can suspend the audience participation here and go online now. Thank you very much. So who is speaking to us online? Can they hear me? Please introduce yourself. What's her name?
Engineer Amina.
Engineer Amina. Yes, I have your name here. Engineer Amina, you are welcome to this wonderful gathering today. Please, can you make your contribution from where you are, with your experience where you are, and from what you've heard from Prof and our panelists? What are your views about enhancing youth productivity in Nigeria? That's Engineer Amina Dam Madami. Yes, you are welcome, Hajia.
Thank you very much. Okay. It has been a very interesting session. I've listened to all the speakers. I've listened to all of that, and he always all the others. And everyone has one thing at the bottom of it all, is that it is up to you as an individual to make a difference. I'm a chemical engineer, the first from in fact, I'm the first person from my entire clan to go to university.
A round of applause for her.
All the others, the lucky ones, the lucky ones amongst them went to secondary school and completed secondary school. I was the first that was able to go to university, and I chose to even do engineering, which was unheard of for a female at that time. But that story for another day. What am I trying to say here is that it is up to you, like all the speakers have said, to make a change. So how do you make the change? What do you do? The situations are not easy, as we know. Madame Benedicta captured it nicely. You know, the whole situation, all the things that you're fighting against in Nigeria. But through it all, Nigerians have built resilience. Nigerians are the happiest people on earth. Nigerians are, and I'm proud to be a Nigerian.
A round of applause for her. I am proud to be a Nigerian.
Make me proud. Wherever, currently I am studying in the UK, I'm doing a PhD in chemical process and energy engineering. And you see the people who excel. A lot of universities in the US, especially I'm in the oil and gas sector, so that's the one I know. Petroleum engineering department, a lot of them are headed by Nigerians. A lot of organizations, have Nigerians at top positions. So we have it all. But we need to change the attitude. It is the attitude that needs to change. One, we need to be more we need to be more what do you, we have to have more love for our nation. Somehow the word has got out of my head.
We have to be more patriotic.
We have to be more patriotic. Love our nation, because wherever you go, home is home. It's good, by all means, travel, gain education, because traveling actually is very good. It expands your soul, it expands your brain, and you learn a lot. You learn different cultures, you learn a lot of things. So I will tell you, travel by all means, pick up education wherever you can, learn as much as you can, but in the end of it all, you still have to come back home. Nigerians were like about 200 million. We're not sure the correct number, but let's say about 200. There's no country, no continent on earth that can accommodate all of us. So we have to make Nigeria work for us. And it is only in Nigeria that you can raise your head, raise your shoulder, and say, this is home. So the attitude, like Dora Akunyili of late memory, had a beautiful concept for Nigeria. She had that Nigeria, great people, good people, great nation. We need to be, chanting those mantras. Be positive. Be positive about our country. Be positive that things can work, because it is people who make things work. America is what it is today because Americans decided to make it work. China is what it is today because the Chinese made it work. So it is on us. And we shouldn't sit down and expect someone else to do. You should always look inwards. Look at what you can do. where you can make a difference. Look for platforms where you can, and that's the core of my message here, volunteering. The act of giving something without expecting anything, giving your time freely, giving labor freely to do something, you know, it resonates with what Benedicta has said, always show up. So volunteering gives you a platform to show up. I am a member of Society of Petroleum Engineers, and is a non-profit, not-for-profit professional association. It's an international one. We have about 124,000 members spread across 134 countries. So volunteering for us personally, just as it has been for a lot of people. If you go to our website, you see so many things. And that is one thing we lack in Nigeria, that selfless service, that selfless act, that you can do something without expecting anything in return. And it really helps because it gives you one of the benefits of volunteering. It builds your confidence. You gain confidence, you gain self-esteem, because you feel important, you feel that you're making a difference, you become part of a community, and then you gain knowledge. Challenges come to you, and then you're able to solve problems. It expands your brain function. You know, there's so much you can do. And most of all, it gives you visibility. You become visible. Like Benedicta said, when people are now looking for, okay, who can do this, people will remember, this person has been volunteering here, this person has been doing this, let us call this person. You know, so I urge you, the youth, because you are not only students. I know most of you have read 360 Degrees Leadership, a book by, can't remember the author. You can lead from wherever you are. You don't have to hold a position. Leadership is not about a position or
Thank you.
title.
That's
You
good.
can lead from anywhere and you can make a difference. You can start first by, what can I do? And then you don't know, some people are even watching you and getting inspired by what you do. I read on, I think if Mohammed and the team will allow me, there's just one clip that I want to show. It's a post I saw on LinkedIn yesterday that one of these Nollywood, I don't know if the organizers will allow me to share my screen, just to show you just one post.
How many minutes will it take? Engineer, how many minutes will it take?
1 second. It's just something I want them to see, just to make a point, and that's my final point. Can I share now?
Yeah, go ahead. We've been waiting for you.
Have I been given the share link, right?
Yes, go ahead.
You have to disable me to be able to share my screen.
Are you learning, technical people?
Yeah.
They have to learn. She said, abroad. She said we must disable her. Have you disabled her? While we are trying to connect her, I think that we have some contributors that are present here. From Naoa, we'll be taking you before the general audience. We'll be taking from the NYSC. We know you've been here since. Yes, I know you are ready. We'll be taking from Smedan. Where is Smedan man? We told him to move forward earlier. Where is he? Where is the Smedan representative? Somebody waved his hand earlier to represent them. We say he should come forward. Is the Nigerian Diaspora Commission here? Oh, thank you very much. So I think we have NYSC, NAOA. We are expecting SMIDAN and NIDCOM. When they are around, we will take their contributions. If they are not here, we'll fire the system and achieve our purpose for coming here today. Are we ready? Have you disabled her to show us what you want to show?
Maybe we'll continue.
I'm having echo. So in the meantime, while we wait for her, we will hand over the microphone to Naoa
to kickstart the discussion. Is Naowa ready? Introduce yourself. Where is Naowa? Wave your hand. This is a youth program. It's not Serengeti thing now. You have to ginger the atmosphere. Remove the face mask. Participate. Me at this my age, I'm gingering, and you are doing. Let's go. Let's take Naowa. Introduce yourself, then make your contribution, please.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. My name is Nkechi Ekato. I must first of all thank my deputy president. She insisted that I handle the microphone. I consider that an honor. Thank you, ma. This is really impressive, very interesting. Congratulations to Mohammed and his team, as well as to the Nigerian youth. If anyone attends this and doesn't become someone better than what they were before coming here, then I don't know, you haven't gained from it. Let me start by mentioning that Professor Lumumba, when he was talking about the problems in Africa...
Sorry. Technical, there is echo. Is she back? Okay, Naowa, just pause. Don't forget that you will give us practical example from Naowa and how you have impacted the youth and your plans for the youth, so that when you speak with the force of Professor Patrick Lumumba and Dr. Duba and the rest of us here. Is that clear? No Oyibo here is practical. Yes, give us engineer Amina.
Yes, so thank you very much, moderator. So this is what the post I wanted to share with you. It was put up by Emmanuel Ibikunle. Apparently, he's a Nollywood actor. I'm not really a TV person. I'm sorry.
Can you see it?
I grew up in a house where there was no TV, so I'm still not used to TV. So the post has Drogba. I'm sure a lot of the young people know Drogba, the football icon. In 2007, he ended a 5-year civil war in his country, Cote d'Ivoire, by scoring a goal that helped them win a match against Madagascar. He asked the game to be played in Bouake, I'm not sure if it's right, a rebel stronghold. On 3rd of June, the Ivorian president and the rebel leader were in Bouake State Municipal singing the national anthem side by side before the match against Madagascar, as Ivory Coast won 5-0. Drogba then got on his knees and pleaded with the rebels to drop their arms, and they did. The next morning, the title page headline of Ivorian newspaper read, "Reconciliation through football. 5 goals to end 5 years of war. Man is a true legend to football." So I want you to put yourself in wherever your area of sphere of influence is. Use that position to make a difference. Look at how Drogba made a difference. He ended a 5-year civil war because of what he knew how to do. So that is my message to all of you as the youth. It is in you. You can do it. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. Volunteer. Have a platform. Find a platform where you can show yourself, showcase yourself. And please, whatever it is you have, use it to make a difference. Thank you very, very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, engineer Mrs. Amina Damatami from United Kingdom. Another round of applause for her, please. You cannot be tired of clapping today, because the more you clap, the more you unlock your potentials and your destiny will take flight. Now, we come back to Naowa. And I think it's the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, isn't it?
Please. Yes, please.
Beautiful. Speak to us practically. Speak to us from the point of your journey so far, what you've done, what you are doing, where you are going, and the message for the youth, and how they can be productive.
Thank you very much. But if you'd let me, I would like to say that I love the presentation of Professor Lumumba. It was interesting, especially pointing the youth to the right direction. But then I want to talk a little bit about his framing of migration. I think he focused more on irregular migration, Nigerians and other African youth being brainwashed into thinking that the grass is greener elsewhere and not here, and then some of them taking all the wrong, irregular informal routes to get to wherever they are heading. And then many of them perishing in the Mediterranean, at the Sahara Desert, and all of that. But then there is something we always miss out. And so that's why I am a bit impressed with engineer Amina. Yes, I was impressed with her when she said that you can actually go out there, make something great for yourself, and then come back to the country to help to develop the country. We know that from international migration, international labor migration particularly, not the one that people go out through irregular means, but the one that is safe, regular, well managed. Through that, Nigerians can go wherever. Africans have the right to migrate regularly in accordance with the laws of the country where they go and work regularly, make good living, and then go back to their country and impact. And this is because, I mean, we should see ourselves as global citizens. If you're a global citizen, you should be able to function anywhere. Let us not be limited by geography or by anything of that sort. And coming back to Naowa, thank you for asking that question. We have a good Nawa leadership. Not that we've had bad leaderships in the past, but right now we have a leadership that focuses on human capital development. Human capital in Nigeria is very low. What do I mean by that? You have a lot of people who are graduates, who have gone to school, gotten degrees, but some of them are not just unemployed, many of them are unemployable, just because they do not have the skills which the workplace is looking for. And that is because there's a mismatch between the curriculum, in most cases, and what the work environment is looking for. And in Naowa, thankfully, our president, Mrs. Farouk Yahaya, is working on developing members of the barracks made up of women and youth. And thankfully, she's focusing first on educational institutions. So there's a lot of teacher training the teachers on how to impact better, not only in terms of academic, but in terms of other skills that the children, the students will need out there when they are no longer students. We also have trainings, entrepreneurship training for women and youth. The beneficiaries have been taught on many different practical skills, tie and dye making, cloth making, soap making, a lot of skills that they can apply themselves in terms of entrepreneurship and be gainfully employed if they were not employed before.
Let me ask you a question. I know if we give you time, you will speak. From those that you have impacted, do you have a tracking method that when you train, you watch them and you follow up on them after 6 months, 1 year, 3 years to know how they are doing?
Yes, there is such, but I can only say that the results are not back yet, but they are being tracked. If you remember, this administration came up in, was it June or August? Last year, when we had the unfortunate incident that the previous chief.
I know I did a training for the Nigerian Army at their resource center a day after my paper.
Okay.
The air crash took place in Kaduna.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you know, after a regime takes over and whatever work you want to do starts, you need to give some time before you can actually assess the impact. So the work is currently being done, and we have, in our plans to assess the impact of the work. And I assure you, maybe if you call us in the next maybe 3 months, I don't have authority to say this, but I know that in the future, there will be impact assessment done, you know, to know how the people have actually benefited from the work. But the important thing is that this is already being done. And like I was talking about unemployability and the rest of it, there are a lot of leadership trainings going on. So people are, like she said, about people leading from wherever they are. I agree with her. Leadership is not until you have a position. Leadership is about service, is about problem solving, is about being in the front and influencing people to do the right thing. And I think you were the one that said that everyone should be in politics. But there's something important to know. If every youth should be in politics, they shouldn't be in politics because they want to be in politics. They should be in politics because they want to serve. They want to impact. They want to bring about positive change, because it's only positive change that can make Nigeria and Africa better and make us compare favorably with the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
our
much.
youth, make sure you benefit.
Thank you.
I just want to answer
Please
your
introduce
question.
yourself and then tell us why you are interrogating the program.
Okay. I'm Mrs. Stella Omozoje, the Deputy President Naowa. I wanted to answer your question directly. You asked if there are people that we have checked and see their progress. Okay, she wasn't much into Naowa before this present president, but I have been there. Like, let me use Ibadan. We did a lot of training program for the youth in Ibadan. Fish training, cloth making, tie and dye, even farm. We train them on how to produce crops and all that. And a lot of them are doing well. I remember just before I left Ibadan, my husband was the GOC then. Some of those women, the fish, the ones that were into fishery, they brought their produce to me as a gift when I was leaving. We empowered them. After the training, there was empowerment. We gave them all they need. And those women are doing fantastically well. Also in Lagos, we have these women into fishery and youth. And they are doing very well. And most of them are already exporting their dry fish presently. So yes, the Nawa have been following up with what is going on, and these women and youths are productive.
Thank you very much. Now we will go to NYSC. Can somebody collect the microphone from her? Another round of applause for the Naoa. NYSC, you will get ready to speak. I know you came here, though you didn't come early enough anyway. I watched you. I knew the time you arrived. We will give him the microphone. Can somebody give him the microphone, please? But before he speaks, we have to recognize the presence of the representative of Mr. Melekiari, the Group Managing Director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited. Am I correct, Alaji? Yes, it's no more corporation now. We don't want corporation anymore. They are now exposed and they are accountable. He is Abdul Kabir M. Mohammed, and I think he's third in command, the Group Executive Director, Gas and Power, NMPC Limited. I insisted they must put Limited behind it. You're welcome, Alhaji Abdul Kabir. You have missed so much. You have missed the cake. You have even missed the icing on the cake. So we will allow you to soak in from the discussions. Engineer Amina have spoken from United Kingdom in diaspora, and she made fantastic presentation. And then all the speakers here, the panelists, have made their contributions. Professor Patrick Lumumba has made one of the world's best speeches I've ever had in a very long time. So I think that we will appeal to you to soak in the thing the way we are going. Then later, we will now give you the platform to deliver the goodwill message. Is that okay, sir? If it's okay, just wave your hand. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So, NYSC.
Thank you very much.
Please tell us your name again.
My name is Stephen Dewan.
Okay.
I'm a Deputy Director of Research with the National Youth Service Corps, Directorate Headquarters.
I thank you very much.
Just
hold on.
Okay, sir.
I noticed you came in before we started the whole thing.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate your zeal, your force, and you really work like a youth. And I know that NYSC is doing very well. Now, you were here, you listened to Prof, you listened to the panelists, you listened to those three contributors, you've listened to a lot of speeches here, you've listened to engineer in diaspora, and I believe that when you were coming here, something was at the back of your mind. That thing that was at the back of your mind, was it addressed by Prof and the panelists and the organizers, or there is something missing that you think we should know?
It's not, I wouldn't be able to give a very easy answer, knowing where I'm coming from. Like I said, I'm representing the Director General NYSC. I got the mandate to come here around 8 o'clock yesterday night. because the Director General had valued what you had presented and wanted to be here himself. But he had to make this change because of other exigencies and said only the DD research could come and out of the archives of materials and documents be able to answer questions that you might come across.
Now the question I've asked you.
Yes, so I want to answer that.
You can
now.
answer it.
Yes.
Ngwanu, let's go.
It is quite, the discussion and the contributions are quite overwhelming. There is one coincidence. When Engineer Aminad was talking, if you have checked what I am writing, I've been writing.
I'm seeing it from here.
Yes. There is an aspect she talked about, volunteerism. And I said, if I have anything to contribute to the youth, that is one aspect I will dwell on.
A round of applause for him, please.
And also, your contribution about youth going into politics. We are not asking you to go and start struggling for political positions. There are areas the youths themselves can contribute and make politics better. So it is, I do not subscribe to the idea that youths should not participate in politics. In the same spirit of volunteerism, you can volunteer to be mobilizers in these different political parties. Parties are going into conventions. Parties are going to do elections. Who are going to sit to be able to organize all these things? It takes youth who have the energy to be able to do that. And it takes you to be pressure groups in the various political parties to make sure that those who are in the position of leadership get to do the right thing. So it still boils down to this issue of volunteerism. We have to definitely check our mindset. NYSC, when I saw this team, honestly, I thought you sat down and looked at what is trending in NYSC today. And that is the advocacy for an NYSC trust fund. The idea is NYSC has been involved in youth empowerment since the beginning. If you check the act establishing NYSC, one of the mandates is for us to develop and mentor these youths so as to be able to have skills that will empower them and bring about self-actualization, thereby contributing to national development. So the President Director General took it upon himself, considering the challenges that are happening in trying to meet up this mandate, by advocating for the establishment of the NYSC Trust Fund. The NYSC Trust Fund basically is to give the youth the way to do after service to be able to actualize those things that they have learned. Because we do a lot of skill development trainings on camp and after camp. But the biggest challenge is after all those experiences you have gathered, where is the fund for startups? We've had collaborations with banks, but they are not too effective. So NYSC intends to expand the scope of training so as to make sure that by the time core members are through with their 1-year service, they are able to now start up these businesses. One of all those areas that we also want to see these youth be able to imbibe is the spirit of collaboration, networking. You see, with startup business, it's always very difficult. It's a wilderness out there, an economic wilderness out there that the challenges, if you are not strong, like one of the speakers has said, will not allow you to even take off. So, but when 2 or 3 youths collaborate to form companies, 2 or 3 youths collaborate to form cooperatives, we are sure that whatever monies that have been given to you, you'll be able to now channel this money properly, and the advantages of union of ideas and talents will definitely make most of your startups survive. So NYSC has, truly speaking, has been doing so much. The prof was talking about us buying.
Is it me or prof?
I want to show the participants,
Wait.
everybody.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Wait. What you want to show?
Yes, sir.
Is it related to what the NYSC is saying or doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it from Prof?
Prof started the discussion.
Yes.
I want to show example what NYSC has done and is doing
Okay.
in,
Go and meet him.
in his ability to actualize.
You want to see Prof?
You see my shoe?
Okay, come up here. Come up.
Thank you very much. All of you can see this shoe I'm wearing. If this shoe was made by a core member called Julius,
A round of applause for him.
who served 20 districts. But the ingenuity is that what is the material? This same cloth material you see. This same cloth material you see is what Julius was able to put a soul to it. And this is what, and I did not envisage I was going to come and be able to present this. But this opportunity was created because of what Prof has said. These are things core members can do. Our core members, our youth are innovative, resilient, and can take the world in every aspect. Let me ask all of you to recall that when COVID-19 started, all of us could not afford the face masks that we're wearing. True of us. We had to recourse to homemade masks. So let me bring it to your notice for those who do not know. NYSC, through SAID, that is Skill Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development, trained core members. I was the state coordinator in Nasarawa, and I brought in 12 core members. We sat down and said, what can we do now that there's locked up and everything? How can we also contribute to bring in non-pharmaceutical interventions in the fight against COVID-19? These core members sat down and agreed they were going to make homemade masks. This homemade face mask, we made 1,000 of it. One of it was sent to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, and they too sent it to Standard Organization. And I will tell you credibly now, without any fear of contradiction, that was the first mask that was approved. And now the committee said Nigerians can go ahead and use homemade face masks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, another round of applause for him, please. Thank you very much, sir. Now he has been able to represent the NYSC DG and the institution properly. Yes. So we will now stretch this discussion a bit further. You know that we have the B2B session, isn't it? We have been on plenary, and we must bring plenary to an end. But if we are going to bring plenary to an end, we will want to feel audience participation. But before then, apart from recognizing the representative of the Group Managing Director of Nigerian National Petroleum Limited, I think the representative of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development is here. The representative is the Special Assistant on ICT and Corporate Relations in the person of Oluwakemi and Melody Areola. Please stand to be recognized, ma. A round of applause for her. The minister have sent in somebody, a youth, that can also make contributions to what we are discussing here today. In a few moments, the GMD representative will speak, Engineer Abdulkabir will speak, and the Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Development will also speak. But before then, let us take contributions from this row, please. Prof, we are coming back to you. From this row, just wave your hand. Anybody? Any other person? Okay, please give him the microphone. Let him introduce himself. Let him introduce himself and then make the... Then let's give to him purple cap. Okay, right. One. Okay, you one. And two. So, madam, one up. Please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Comrade Suleiman Koshako. My little contribution is, firstly, I'm very, very happy to be here today. But to me, it's just an unfortunate for me to be seeing empty seat here, whereby we youth are being given opportunity to be here, but we are not much. The aspect I want to talk into is mindset reset. In the world today, in Africa, in Nigeria, if the Nigeria youth, if we can reset our mindset, I believe we can do it. We can succeed. And I have a belief in me that if you can live in Nigeria, you can stand to live in anywhere in the whole world. The mindset reset is for the youth. If we can reset our mind, I believe the whole thing will be better for us. Firstly, for instance, if we are given opportunity to be here today, Adimbin is an this 2022 Youth Convention is having an empowerment. You see here, every youth. We are all waiting for ready-made. We have a lot of intelligence in Nigeria. Our youth, we are more productive. But the problem is we have to reset our mindset towards the development of the country. Thank you very much.
Hello. We will try to tweak the a bit. I was told that NITCOM is here. It's not. Otherwise, we will have recognized you. The representative of the Honorable Minister. No, give me that one. Always don't hit the microphone. Change the battery. Hello. Was isn't it? Please let this one work like this. Thank you very much. Please bring the microphone for the representative to the technical assistant to the chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Habiba P. Eluame. She has been here for a while and she has been very excited about the whole thing. So let's hear the contribution of NITCOM based on the presentation by Professor Patrick Lumumba, as well as the panelists and Nigerians in diaspora, and the response of those three young persons that spoke to Prof's paper. What is it that NITCOM can say about youth productivity in this country?
Thank you very much, sir. I first of all want to thank Professor Lumumba and all the panelists. I've learned a lot coming here. I was a youth. I think if I'm almost 60, I'm no longer a youth.
You are still a youth.
I am. Oh, good. So I'm still a youth. So I want to say I've really enjoyed what has been said here today. And I think it has motivated me. I want to write a paper on what I've heard today. Because when it is
a round of applause for her, please.
When it is done into maybe flyers, our youth will read it and they will learn something from it. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission is also ensuring that the youths are part of the programs they have. Engineer Amina took the word from my paper because I wanted to speak first before you said let the people online speak. about volunteering. It's not our culture like the white people. I know in the years back, there's something like community assistance. It's also volunteering, coming out to clean the community, coming out to assist at the palace is volunteering. So I think now with education and modernization, I think that volunteering should be taking a step forward, like showing up in any situation, show up, like Andy said, show up and be there. We have a program, we call it the home string.
Is it on TV or radio?
It's coming up soon.
Advocacy?
It's advocacy is about youth empowerment, encouraging the youth to volunteer, the youth in diaspora.
All right.
And 25th of July is usually the Diaspora Day. So we got this youth, we want to encourage them, so as also to encourage the second and third generation of the diasporas. We have diasporas who are, all their lives they've been outside the country. They have children over there. So we want to encourage the children to collaborate with Nigerians, the youth in Nigeria. And we got quite a lot. They are ready to transfer their skills. They are ready to go online and teach those that are filmmakers, cinematography. They want to teach those ideas freely. So we have state diaspora focal point officers because these diasporas are from states. So they can link up with their state and collaborate with the youths from that state and then teach them what they know, transfer the talents they have, and also let them know the power of volunteerism. So we started it last year, 20th July, and we want to continue. We're also collaborating with the youth volunteerism. There's something on volunteerism. They also want to collaborate with the diaspora youth so that we all let them know that out there is not as rosy as they think. If I take the words of the professor, you can make the grass greener even where you are. So by letting them know, and also discouraging illegal migration. We are collaborating with Ministry of Labor to have a